Hi Cancer, welcome to my channel. My name is Kim. So today, Cancer, when I was meditating on you guys kind of wanted to go first. Like you guys were like me first, right? So I skipped Taurus and Gemini and I'm doing you guys first. And it's interesting because I feel that this is you, Cancer. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but I feel that it is just because of the water element, and she's wearing like this crown that I feel like reminds me of the Queen of Cup a little bit. So this could be you, this could be someone else, but it's really interesting how it's hard to see, but there's pieces glowing in this. There's pieces glowing, like her skin, there's parts of it that are glowing, and it kind of reminds me of the fairies a little bit. It also reminds me of it kind of reminds me of, the Lord of the Rings, the queen, like that vibe. Like she can kind of transcend through time and space, right? It's like this moment is not the only moment that this person has been in, and this person, it's like this person is just transporting themselves somewhere, and they're offering their hand. I don't know if you guys have seen the Lord of the Rings, but it's like Frodo is down on the floor and he can't get up, and she's there with her hand out, and she just appears out of nowhere and she picks him up, right? But then when he looks again, she's gone, right? It's interesting. It's like she's not in the dimension. It's about like dimensions. It's like she's there to pick up someone's hand, right? Like she's there offering the hand, but no one can see her. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, is it a figment of Frodo's imagination, or is she actually there? I think she was actually there, to be honest. I don't think that he was like imagining her. I think she like went through time to be there. It's crazy. And that's kind of what I'm feeling with this. It's maybe it has to do with this love, right? It doesn't matter what the time is, right? It doesn't matter where Frodo was. She was there with her hand out. And I think that could be you or someone else who is extending themselves, kind of giving someone an olive branch. And I think that the person so Cancer, pick who you are, but I think it's you extending yourself to someone. And I feel that the other person could be kind of like in the darkness, right? Because just how I think her name is Lady Galadriel. Yeah. Just how she was there, reached out her hand and picked him up. I think that's kind of what you're doing, but I don't think you're doing it. Right? You're just kind of chilling in your energy, in a really good vibe. And maybe you think of someone and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna hit this person up, see what they're doing, And you're like, why not at this point? Like, why not? And you hit them up, and I don't think you realize where they have been or where they are, but I think they've actually been in the darkness. Like, I think they actually have been, I think maybe they could have even been calling you, do you know what I'm saying? Or thinking of you, right? And then you kind of just appeared, and like a ghost, basically, right? Like you just appeared and then you disappeared, right? You're like, oh, hey, well, take care, right? Like that's literally the vibe I'm getting. And it's pivotal, right? Because in the movie, if nobody picked him up, who knows what would have happened? So I think it's a big deal. I think that this extension of energy is a very big deal. Could be two people, two soulmates connecting. But it's just interesting how you're here, you're like, hey. And it could be some of you extending, being more serious. But I don't feel like it's a serious message. Even though she's holding her heart on her sleeve, I think she's just in such a high vibration that, it kind of reminds me of vibration, right? Like you're at a high vibe, but I'm thinking of someone vibrating, right? Like they're so high that they're just kind of staticky and they're just like moving around very quickly, right? The energy is very hard to contain, and that's why I feel maybe you got the sense that somebody was not okay, or maybe you got the sense that they were calling you, they needed you, and then you were there, but you have no idea, because I don't think this person is going to even say that. Do you know what I'm saying? They might be like, oh, hey, and it's interesting because I feel nothing is going to phase you, right? It doesn't matter how this person responds to you. It doesn't matter what they do, but it's like you did what you wanted to do, right? And then you go on and you keep vibrating at this high vibe, and you're just moving forward, and like you're just kind of spreading all this beautiful energy as you move along. So Cancer, that's what I'm getting. I think that someone has kind of made some sort of extension or gesture or an olive branch to someone else, and I think this person could have been in the dark or in darkness for a long time, and seeing you is helping them get back up. So I think it's a really big deal, Cancer, and I think that's why you were, hey, I need to go first. So yeah, Cancer, let's pull cards. What I was getting in the beginning was that you kind of might have made contact with someone, right? And maybe it's not in the 3D, but I feel that it is 3D because, yeah, it has to work 3D. Like, even if you're vibrating at a vibration that's higher than that and you're kind of just doing your own shit and pick your energy, you could either be the one that is getting the hand held out to them, right, to get picked up because you're down, you've fallen, and you're like in the dark basically right now. You can't kind of find a way out and you're getting aid, right? Or you are the aid, right? You are the one that is aiding the other person. So pick your energy, right? I'm going to talk about probably the one who's doing the aiding, right? So the person doing the aiding, I'm going to say that's Cancer for now, but if it's not, switch the energy. I don't want to confuse you guys, but yeah, the one who's doing the aiding, right? That person, they're at this vibration where, again, there's something about the vibration. Do you see how there's a lot of wings here in this white? And I was like, it kind of reminds me of a fairy. It kind of reminds me of like, it's ethereal, right? It's like you don't belong to any time or space, right? You can just flow freely. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you've made contact with someone else. Someone made contact with you. And maybe it was just subconscious, but you're like, oh, I need to like see how this person's doing. I just want to see what they're doing. And again, I don't think they'll ever admit, right, that I don't know why. I feel like they're not telling you this, but it doesn't matter to you, right? Like they don't need to tell you like, oh, thank you so much for helping me out. I'm the one that's telling you that you're helping them out. And I think it's important that you know that because there's a connection here, right? And it's interesting because I think these are two people that have known each other in other lifetimes and have also known each other already in this lifetime. Like this isn't someone new. And what I want to say about this person, I think that you bring that light for them, you putting your hand out and reaching out for them, picking them up, is going to start a chain of events, right? And it's interesting because it's reminding me of fate. It's reminding me of destiny. And then we did get the destiny card out, but we got it in reverse. So what's interesting here is that there could have been a lifetime where you guys weren't able to come together, right? And I also think like there's a chance in this lifetime that you wouldn't have come together. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's how important the subconscious and the intuition is, because that's all we get, right? We get this like one chance, we get this one moment to do something, right? And you do it a minute later, do it 10 minutes later, and it's gonna change everything. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. It's like, when people miss their bus or their train, and then some crazy shit happens in that train, and they're like, holy shit, I'm so glad I wasn't on that train. Do you know what I'm saying? I had an uncle who, you know, I don't want to say what event it was, but he was walking into something, and then I guess he got delayed or he couldn't make it that day, and it was just all these events that kept him from being there. And if he would have gone, he would have not been here, you know, he would have died. So it's crazy how these like strange things that intervene help us. And I think that for a long time, maybe you guys felt like this wasn't possible anymore, right? It wasn't possible. Like maybe the falling out between the two of you, it feels like destiny and the Two of Cups in reverse and the Sun in reverse. It feels like a very dark time. This could be where this other person is, right? In this dark, like this just feels like darkness, right? It could also just be the series of events that have happened to the two of you, right? Because I feel like you guys know each other. So there had to be probably a falling out between the two of you. And I think it was probably a really, really, really big, I don't even say pain. It wasn't like a catastrophe, but it was bad, right? With the Sun in reverse, destiny in reverse, and the Two of Cups in reverse. Whatever this is, whatever didn't work out between the two of you, it was really bad. It affected both of you on such an internal level. But I don't want to go into the past because I think that this is just saying like, we all have these decisions, we all have these choices that we make every single day. And because you made this choice, right? Because you made the choice to maybe just be you, be authentic, not be afraid, right? I just feel like there's somebody here who's just not afraid. Even with this vibe, it's like you're sitting under the fire. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's not like your life is so easy, right? It's not like everything comes to you so easily. It's not like, you know, you don't have to work your ass off for something. It's not like, you know, you don't have to put a lot of effort and work into something. It's not about that. It's not like anything's coming easy. You're also in a 5, but you're embracing it, right? You're embracing the 5. You're like, you know what? If I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my best, right? It's like you're just keep doing your best. You keep doing your best, and you're listening. But it's more than that. You're listening to your subconscious. You're listening to your intuition. And even though I feel some days it's more confusing than others, right? To understand what messages we're supposed to be taking and what we're supposed to be learning and what we're not supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm the type of person to overthink everything. And I love how my sister is the opposite, where she's like, well, maybe you just don't need to know. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Like, who cares what the answer is, right? Of like why that happened. Like, who cares, right? Just go with it. And I'm more of like, but how did that happen? And like, I'll sit there for like an hour. Even thinking about it is making me like nervous. I'm like, okay, but how did that happen? You know what I mean? And it's so funny because my sister's like the exact opposite. She'd be like, and it's interesting. She's a Libra, right? So yeah, I feel like that's the energy you're in with this air. It's kind of like, I'm just gonna go with the flow, even though life could be like a shit show, even though this seems to have happened between the two of you. Again, someone decides to make a gesture, right? And I think that it kind of sparks everything back up again. It's like turning on the Christmas tree lights, right? It's just like boom, 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 boom. And it's interesting because it's like making me feel like it starts setting things back into, like, and I don't say back, but that's what it said. Yeah, back into motion. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't think that, it kind of feels like a miracle, to be honest. Like, not only the fact that you have done all this work. So yeah, I think with the Queen of Air, that is interesting because I think that you have been doing all this work on yourself. But I think the biggest thing, Cancer, that you could do for yourself right now is be in this energy where you're going into the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't have maybe any plans. You're kind of just letting the universe guide you right now. And because you put yourself in this position, and I feel that it's a position of, a lot of people say, well, it's the best position to be because you have someone kind of taking the wheel, you know, like, Jesus, take the wheel. But it's like, for you, that's scary, right? For you, I feel that you're a planner, you make plans, you know what I'm saying? It's very hard for you to just let go of control. And I think that because you are letting go of control, because you let go of what you should or shouldn't do, what seems best for, like, you know what I mean? It's like you're letting go of all this 3D bullshit. Do you see how we have so much air? Right? It's like ethereal. It's like not of this energy. It's not of this dimension. Do you know what I'm saying? So because you're at energy or vibe or frequency that's higher than this dimension, you can see things a lot clearer. It's like you're above the clouds, right? And you know, when we go up in the plane, once you get above the clouds, you can see everything pretty like clearly, right? That's kind of where you are. So you see everything very clearly. You're just seeing everything, and it's like, it doesn't really matter at this point if I, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you just don't give a fuck anymore. And I really think that it's a positive thing. It's more than that, but it's just hard for me to articulate exactly like what I mean when I say that you're above the clouds. You're not in the fog anymore. You're seeing everything clearly. You're at a higher frequency. And it's so important that you're in this energy because it causes a chain of events. That's what I want to say. It causes a chain of events. The energy that you're in causes this chain of events. And it's interesting because it's all about these choices that we make every day, these little choices, right? These little, the nagging feeling that you get in your stomach, the nagging feeling that you get when you're, you know, in bed. What are you thinking about before you go to sleep? Like, can you even fall asleep, right? It's you're doing a lot of self-work. You're doing a lot of self-work. And yeah, even here we have the self card. And you're trying to get to this level. And I think they're telling you that you're going about it the right way. Like, if you're seeing this reading, this is a confirmation to you that even though it's not, if you don't have anything really planned, maybe you're not doing anything according to plan, you're doing everything kind of just spur of the moment. It might seem a little bit even like spontaneous. It's the right way, right? You see how she has around her wrists the feathers? That kind of reminds me of the divine, right? It's just letting them guide you, right? It's like they're with you. It's funny because the other day I was traveling to see my sister. I keep thinking of my sister. Anyway, I was traveling to see my sister and I had to drive, and you know, I was alone, and everyone was like, oh, you went alone. And someone else in my house was like, oh, she wasn't alone. Like, she had everybody with her. And I was like, that's so true. Like, I'm never really alone. You know what I mean? And you're never really alone. And I feel like that's what they're trying to tell you. And if you have a grandfather, I always see this dragonfly as my grandfather. So I feel if you have a grandfather or someone like a grandparent that is like, they're always with you. You're never really alone. You know what I mean? And I think you know that, right? So even if you're technically alone, like you're single and maybe you live alone and you don't really see too many people, I don't think you're ever feeling alone. I think it's actually letting you, this lonely era, this time of you being alone has really put you in this position where you are at this level now that, this is what I'm saying, you're like Lady Galadriel, which you guys have to watch Lord of the Rings if you haven't, because this is like an epic person. Like, this is like a big deal, right? Like, this person, you can float through dimensions, right? Like, you can just use your energy. You can sense when someone needs you here and you go. And that's what kind of happened here. Someone was calling for you, and I don't think that you even understood, like, you know, you didn't really know what was going on, but you just kind of like did it anyway. And it's because they were calling for you. Do you know what I'm saying? They were the ones calling for you. And you're just like, you just pop up. You know, you're like, yo, what's up? How are you? And that hand that you give to them picks this person back up again. And it starts this chain of events. And it's this union, right? It's this union. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be, you know, that you guys like get married and have all these kids. And I mean, if that's what you want, I hope that's what you get, you know. But what I really think it is it's just a union. It's this connection where, you know, this person calls for you and you're there, right? You reach out to them. And it's interesting because I think this is them. And I think this is you too. Again, there's a similarity between the two of you, right? Because we have the King of Air and the Queen of Air. So it's not uncommon that you guys have been going through similar, you know, problems and similar things that the divine is trying to get you to learn, basically, right? So if you're both learning something, and this is what I feel like you're learning right now, right? It's about these decisions that we make. It's about these choices. Look at this person. They're like in anxiety versus the Lovers, right? And the Lovers can also speak about a Gemini, but I see it as choices again. Choices. And I think it's better to just make a choice, right? Better to make, even if it's a wrong choice, it's better to move than to stay stagnant. And that's what I feel like. It's like you're not remaining stagnant anymore. This vibe, this frequency that you're at, it doesn't allow you to remain stagnant. Even if people might see you, you know, oh, this person is at home, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you're at home a lot, but you're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? You're always doing something. You're always improving either on like your mind or spiritually or financially. Do you know what I'm saying? You're always doing something. You're working hard, right? So I feel like that's what they're saying. It's like, and I think that's what's going on here too. It's like this person that you're reaching out to, you're reaching them out of this, right? Like they're in this anxiety, right? And then they just kind of remember you, and it puts them in this whole other like state. Do you know what I'm saying? Your energy is affecting others. And I think that's the whole point of, you know, spreading love, right? It's kind of, it's interesting because I always think of Marley, and I'm always like, I'm Bob Marley. I don't know why I call him like, if he's my best friend. But yeah, I always think of Marley, and I'm like, you know, he left this legacy of love, right? Like he left all this music for us at this like vibe that I don't even know. Like, I mean, yeah, he was smoking a lot, but he definitely left like the world a better place than he, you know, when he left it better than when he had gotten there, right? And I mean, that's what I feel like you're doing. You're leaving things better than when you, like before you got there. And I think if you just keep doing that, Cancer, or for whoever this is going to lead to something so beautiful for you guys. And it's like not only for your life, but for theirs, right? Because you're gaining the stability very quickly. We go from the 5 to the 10, right? It's like a doubling of energy. Now I'm thinking of Double Up. It's a Nipsey Hussle song. You guys should listen to it. Double Up, right? Everything right now, I got goosebumps when I said double up, double up. Yeah, you're doubling up. I love that. I think it's amazing. Like everything is just, it's this frequency that you're at, Cancer, whether it be the masculine or the feminine. It's the frequency that you're at that's allowing all this energy to happen, this chain of events. And look at this person. They got the wheel. And I love that because I think that it also shows movement on their part. And what's interesting is like, I never noticed this, but there's like a snake down there or a bush at the bottom. And it kind of reminds me of where they are cutting out of, right? Or even if they're kind of stuck in this web, right? They're stuck in this web and they're happy about it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you cause this person to see something, right? And now they're kind of seeing it too, right? And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'll be honest about this person. With this 4 of coins, I kind of always see kind of a possessive energy, right? So I think this person, I think it kind of reminds me, I know it sounds so, I've been getting a lot of siblings, and I know that's weird because we're talking about love, but I feel like it's a bond, when it's a bond between a sibling. I was watching this interview about this girl, and she was like, yeah, the only love that I ever kind of got was from my brother, right? Like the only love that I ever kind of, they're like, have you been in love? And she was like, I think I kind of figured that out with my brother. And that's kind of what it's reminding me of this, right? It's like, it's a bond that like can't be broken. You know, like you can date someone, you can marry someone, you can get divorced. You know what I'm saying? That it's like a blood bond. That's what I want to say. It's a blood bond, right? This possessiveness that they have, it kind of reminds me of like an older brother. You know, you go out in those short shorts and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Get back in the house. That's what this is. It's a possessiveness, but I mean, it can be dark if the ego is, you know, ruling. But I don't think it's dark because I feel like this is a king upright. 1, he's the king of air that's matching you. And 2, he has the wheel, this king, right? So this possessiveness is like recognizing a blood tie, right? It's like recognizing my family, right? Like I have to, do you know what I'm saying? I'm recognizing, it's like, you know, it's like with your sister, with your sibling. I'm getting a lot of siblings. So yeah, maybe you guys, I mean, everyone probably has a sibling, but yeah, there's something here about siblings. And I keep getting siblings, and it's like a blood tie, right? A blood tie, a blood bonds with this person. They feel they're gonna, I think they're kind of awakening to that fact too. Like maybe you've already known that, but they're kind of understanding that now, right? Oh, the way I feel about this person makes sense, right? Because this is not a normal person. This is a blood tie. This is a soul tie, right? And that's why I think this also comes with the wheel turning. And it's also realizing that you can have everything you want. You can have the life that you want, right? You can change your reality very quickly, right? You can drive 100 miles west, like get a house somewhere else and do whatever the hell you want to do there and be a totally different person, right? Or you can go south and do the same thing, or you can go, you know what I'm saying? Like the ties that bond you are all just created in your mind. And I think that you're understanding so much shit right now It's helping this person understand it. It's helping them realize the bond between the two of you, this blood bond, right? You can't be broken. You can do a lot of cord cutting, and you can't break it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, you know, you meet someone on the street and they kind of, you know, you keep meeting them, and you don't like the bond between the two of you, and you don't ever want to see this person again. You do a cord cutting, you say goodbye, love this, send this person love, bye, and you never see this person again. That can't be with this person. This is a tie. This is a bond, right? And the energy that you're in right now, I don't know, I'm skipping ahead, but yeah, it's like the energy that you're in right now, you're just receiving from the universe. That's what it looks like. You're just receiving. It's like they're charging you up, right? And that's what I'm getting with this double up. It's like the divine's taking care of you. You don't have to worry about anything right now. And then look at this, the Ace of Cups and Justice, right? So maybe if you guys did have a falling out, which it very much looks like you guys did, right? Something happened here. It's like you guys have the choice if you want. You guys always have this choice. This option was always open to you to be like, you know what I'm saying? To go back to one another, to start again. The choice has always been there. And I think that you just reaching out and being at the vibe that you're at is setting something in motion. And wherever this person has been, they were in the dark. Like I'm totally getting that. I keep seeing brown, like dirt. They're like down there, right? And they were struggling, and then like a message comes from you, like something about, maybe something even just reminding them of you. But I honestly feel that there's an actual 3D, like, oh, like it's a hit up, or they see you. Has to be something more. It could be them being reminded of you, but I think it's something more. But yeah, it's setting this all into motion, and this is justice. This is justice. This Ace of Cups, this new beginning in love, this is justice. Where things were hard at one point, where things fell apart and maybe broke you, you guys are coming back up very, very like regal, I want to say. And I don't care about any of the rich and like abundance of, like, when I say regal, I just mean that it's like, it's Empress, Emperor, right? Like you take care of everybody, right? You have more responsibility because you know more, right? Cancer, I love this reading. Let's pull some advice. So, Cancer, I feel that maybe this dark cycle, right? This dark time when you guys weren't together, when things, this feels like a dark time, right? When this happened, right? I think it taught you a lot. And I think this is what it taught you, right? And this is how you are coming out, right? It's kind of like you learned a lot, and they want to point this out to you. I don't know why. I think it's just kind of like a boost to your ego, because I think you guys deserve that, to be honest. I mean, why wouldn't you guys want to hear something good about like what you've achieved, right? I don't think anyone's going to ever tell you that on the 3D either, so I feel like it's kind of my responsibility to say it, and I kind of like that a lot, because it's like we don't get these like spirit achievement awards, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if we did. That would be so, I mean, I don't want things to be like a competition, because it's not about that, but it's like you see the achievement in your own life, and that's where like that is the award. But it just would be so interesting if there was like achievement awards, right, for the shit. So I guess that's like me right now, right? I feel like I'm a speaker at like a college right now that's like handing out awards. But yeah, you've set healthy boundaries, right? With 3, Armadillo Spirit, you've set healthy boundaries. And Skunk Spirit, know your worth, 54. You know your worth now. And I want to say it's for both of you, because you're both upright and you're both a true pair. But I honestly think it's more for this person. The one reaching out, Lady Galadriel, right? That person. The person holding their hand out and just kind of being at this vibe that, you know, flowing through the dimensions and shit. Like, this is because you've learned this, right? You know your worth now. You've set healthy boundaries, and no one can kind of cross those boundaries. And that's why it's like nothing can really affect you. Whereas in this dark period, I think both of you guys were so highly affected by what happened, and you didn't really know your worth. You didn't set healthy boundaries. And I think that you can say safely that maybe this wheel turning is just showing the fact that both of you guys have you know, set healthy boundaries and you both are learning your worth. And I want to say it's for both of you. I want to say it's for both of you. I don't know exactly where this other person is, right? Because you see, as we, remember I said it sets off a chain of events, right? I don't know how far behind this person is. I don't even say behind because like what is time? Basically, it's not real. So let's just say, I don't even like the word behind. I really don't. I keep saying behind, but it's like they're not behind. The chain of events is causing them to also be in the same energy as you, right? You're vibing off each other. And with Thecla, the prophetess of true power, I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own. That's what you guys, that's you right now. That's you, right? True power. You know your power, right? The prophetess of true power. And it's about, and this is what helped you learn that, right? You're setting these boundaries and knowing your worth. I think there was times when you were probably so nice and you'd always just respond to people, even if you didn't even want to talk to them. You're like, oh, I should just respond to them because like, no, like you're like, oh, I don't fuck with this person anymore. I don't want to talk to them. They're narcissist. They do this. They're not a good person, and I don't need this person in my life anymore. What, like, it's like you're not scared anymore to be lonely. You're not scared anymore to like, you know what I'm saying? You're just like so above all the shit, and you're just you're done with it. And that's why you're in your true power at this time, Cancer. So embrace this, right? You're seeing everything very clearly. Don't let anybody like try to say like, oh no, you're in your true power and you did this work, you did all this work, and it's like congratulations to you. You kept fighting, you kept fighting, you kept fighting, you kept fighting. That's what I'm getting with Thecla. Like Thecla, she almost dies like 3 times in the story, and then she keeps just asking for help, asking for aid. Oh, please help me. And maybe that's another thing. Like you understand the significance of the ancestors around you, the blood ties around you, the siblings around you. And that's what's so interesting. It's like this person knows the power that you have. And I think that's why it's like very interesting that when you come into your power, I feel like they could feel it. And that's why they're like, oh, I need a hand. Do you know what I'm saying? Or even if they don't know if you'll be there, it's like you could feel them and you're like, oh, I'll be right there. Do you know what I'm saying? It's so interesting. It's so amazing, like the power that you guys have. And it's a true pair thing, right? Like you guys are coming up as a true pair. So I want to say it's them too. They're going to come into this power. And I don't want to say behind you, but I think that the series of events, but again, it's like, what is time? Because at the same time, I feel like we go from here to here to here. Right? I feel like you guys were in union, then like something happens, and then I feel like it's back to possible union, right? With this Ace of Cups and Justice. So even if it's not with each other, again, this is a blood tie. It's a blood bond. It cannot be broken. See, I can't say. I can keep talking forever, so I'm going to stop. I love you guys so much. I hope this reading resonates, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.